Ladies and gentlemen, wealth is not an accident. Financial success is not reserved for the lucky few. It is built on pillars, strong, unshakable foundations that anyone who is willing to learn and apply can stand upon. The truth is, money follows principles, not emotions. And if you understand the principles, you can master the results. Purpose drives wealth, because money without meaning quickly loses value in our lives. Wealth is not just about accumulating numbers in a bank account. It is about aligning financial success with a deeper sense of calling and direction. When someone has no purpose, money becomes nothing more than paper and possessions. It can be spent carelessly, wasted on things that provide no lasting satisfaction, and it often leaves people empty, restless, and unfulfilled. But when wealth is guided by a clear purpose, it becomes a tool for building, creating, and transforming not only personal lives, but also the lives of others. Purpose acts like a compass in the journey of financial success. Many people chase money for the sake of money and find themselves trapped in cycles of greed, fear, or endless dissatisfaction. They work tirelessly, accumulate things, and yet never feel fulfilled. That is because wealth in itself was never designed to bring meaning. Meaning comes from purpose, and wealth only finds its highest expression when vision attracts provision, because the mind that can see beyond current circumstances creates a magnetic force that draws resources, people, and opportunities into alignment. When a person has a clear picture of where they are going, even if the resources are not yet in their hands, the very clarity of that vision begins to open doors. History has proven that individuals who carried a strong vision, whether in business, leadership, or personal growth, eventually drew the support, funding, and partnerships they needed to make it a reality. Vision gives direction, and direction gives confidence to others who are looking for something meaningful to invest in. People are drawn to clarity, and resources flow toward purpose that is clearly defined. A vision is like a blueprint. Builders do not start construction without a plan. And in the same way, life will not release its resources until there is a clear design. When you decide what you want, why you want it, and how you plan to get there, you are essentially giving provision a pathway to follow. Opportunities often bypass people, not because they lack talent, but because they lack vision. Talent without vision can wander, but vision creates discipline, and that discipline attracts the right channels of supply. Provision responds to vision because vision communicates faith. It is the declaration that even though you may not yet hold the resources in your hands, you already see them in your future. Faith is the currency that moves mountains, and vision is the evidence of that faith. The world respects those who dare to see the invisible. It may sound intangible, but history shows that every invention, every business empire, and every global movement began with an image in someone's mind long before it became reality. The vision acted as a magnet, pulling in the people, the skills, and the resources needed to manifest it. When you carry vision, you inspire others to connect their own gifts to your mission. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves, and vision provides that sense of higher purpose. Investors, mentors, and partners are always looking for someone who knows exactly where they are going, because certainty builds trust. If you are vague about your future, others cannot see where they fit. But when you speak clearly about your destination, those who resonate with your vision will show up with the tools, the knowledge, and the finances to push it forward. Vision also attracts provision by training the mind to see opportunities others overlook. A person with no vision can stare at resources and never recognize their value, while a visionary sees potential in what looks ordinary. That is why two people can face the same circumstance, and one sees a dead end, while the other sees an open door. Vision sharpens perception, and perception influences decision-making. Right decisions open streams of provision, because provision flows where wisdom is applied. In essence, provision is waiting for vision. The universe does not waste resources on the undecided. Money, opportunities, and people are drawn to those who already know what to do with them. Clarity is like gravity for resources, and the clearer the vision, the stronger the pull. When you see it clearly in your heart and mind, the world begins to conspire to bring it to pass, because vision is the seed and provision is the harvest. Discipline is non-negotiable, because every dream, no matter how big, will collapse if it is not supported by the structure of consistent action and self-control. Many people have talent, vision, and even opportunities, but without discipline, they sabotage their own progress. Discipline is the bridge between desire and accomplishment, the invisible force that transforms potential into reality. It is the ability to say no to distractions, to resist the urge for instant gratification, and to stay committed to a course of action even when the excitement has worn off. Success is not built in moments of inspiration, but in the quiet daily choices that compound over time, and discipline is what makes those choices possible. Financial success in particular requires discipline because money responds to order, not chaos. Without discipline, spending exceeds income, debts multiply, and wealth slips through careless hands. With discipline, saving becomes a habit, investments are approached with patience, and financial freedom gradually emerges. It is easy to dream of wealth, but it is discipline that ensures the dream does not die in wishful thinking. Discipline turns intentions into habits, and habits into a lifestyle that naturally attracts results. Discipline is also non-negotiable because life will always test commitment. There will be challenges, setbacks, and temptations to quit. In those moments, talent cannot save you, vision may feel blurry, and motivation can vanish. What carries you through is the muscle of discipline, the inner resolve to keep going when quitting feels easier. Every person who has achieved lasting success has one thing in common: they mastered themselves before they mastered their field. Discipline is self-leadership, and without self-leadership, no one can sustain external leadership or influence. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is its compounding effect. Small daily acts of discipline may look insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create extraordinary results. Just as a seed planted and watered consistently will eventually grow into a tree, disciplined actions grow into achievements. Reading a little every day sharpens the mind. Saving consistently builds wealth. Exercising regularly strengthens the body. And practicing skills repeatedly develops mastery. The opposite is also true. Neglecting small acts of discipline compounds into weakness, debt, failure, and regret. Discipline is not something that comes naturally to everyone, but it can be trained. It begins with decisions and is strengthened by repetition. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you reinforce the foundation of success. Each small victory over laziness, over excuses, over fear, builds the resilience needed for greater challenges ahead. Discipline is a habit of winners, and without it, even the most talented and gifted individuals often remain stuck in mediocrity. Ultimately, discipline is non-negotiable because life rewards consistency, not occasional effort. The greatest visions, the boldest dreams, and the most inspiring goals all depend on discipline to become reality. It is the price of success, the foundation of wealth, and the anchor of character. Without it, potential remains unrealized, but with it, even the impossible gradually becomes achievable. Knowledge multiplies wealth, because information is the seed of transformation. Money alone does not guarantee growth. But when it is combined with the right knowledge, it has the power to multiply far beyond its original value. Many people inherit wealth and lose it within years because they lack the understanding of how to manage, preserve, and expand it. On the other hand, individuals who begin with little but acquire wisdom about money, investments, and opportunities often build fortunes that last. The difference is not luck but knowledge. Financial success is not only about having resources, but about knowing how to use them strategically and effectively. Ignorance is one of the most costly liabilities anyone can carry. Without knowledge, people fall into debt traps, make poor investment decisions, and become victims of financial manipulation. The world is full of opportunities, but only those with the eyes of understanding can see them. Knowledge sharpens perception, allowing someone to identify possibilities that others overlook. Two people can look at the same situation, and while one sees a problem, the one equipped with knowledge sees potential. It is this ability to discern value where others see none that separates those who remain stuck from those who prosper. The expansion of wealth is directly tied to the expansion of the mind. A limited mindset cannot handle unlimited resources. This is why education, mentorship, and continuous learning are vital to financial success. Knowledge teaches how to save effectively, how to invest wisely, how to diversify income, and how to build structures that protect and grow wealth over time. The more you learn, the more tools you acquire, and these tools empower you to turn ordinary resources into extraordinary outcomes. Money without knowledge slips away, but money guided by wisdom multiplies. Knowledge also multiplies wealth because it fuels innovation. Every invention, business idea, and profitable system is the product of knowledge applied to solve a problem. Wealth flows to problem solvers, and problems are solved through insight and understanding. The more you know, the more equipped you are to create solutions that others will pay for. Entrepreneurs who master their craft, leaders who understand systems, and individuals who invest in their own growth continually position themselves at the center of wealth creation because knowledge makes them valuable. Another powerful aspect of knowledge is that it reduces risk. No investment or opportunity is without risk, but ignorance magnifies danger while knowledge minimizes it. When you understand markets, contracts, and strategies, you can make calculated decisions that protect your resources while opening doors for growth. Knowledge allows you to see both the pitfalls and the possibilities, guiding you to step wisely where others stumble blindly. This balance of caution and boldness comes only from learning and applying financial principles. Furthermore, knowledge is a wealth multiplier because it is transferable and timeless. Unlike money, which can be stolen, wasted, or lost, knowledge remains with you and continues to produce value. When you pass it on, you create generational wealth, not just in terms of money, but in the ability of future generations to sustain and expand what has been built. Knowledge equips people not only to inherit wealth, but to preserve and increase it. A family, business, or community built on wisdom will endure, because knowledge creates systems that outlast circumstances. Knowledge multiplies wealth because it transforms resources, fuels creativity, reduces risk, and builds legacies. The pursuit of financial success without the pursuit of knowledge is like planting seeds in barren soil. But when knowledge enriches the soil of the mind, every seed of effort has the chance to grow into abundance. Generosity sustains success because true wealth is never just about accumulation, but about circulation. When resources flow outward to meet needs, open opportunities, and uplift others, they create a cycle that ensures continuous abundance. A person who hoards wealth may appear rich for a time, but stagnation eventually breeds loss. On the other hand, those who give freely create a ripple effect that comes back multiplied. Generosity turns financial success into lasting influence, transforming money from a temporary possession into a tool for building legacies that endure beyond an individual's lifetime. Generosity is a principle deeply tied to the laws of reciprocity. Whatever you release has a way of returning, often in greater measure. When you invest in people, in communities, and in causes larger than yourself, you create networks of goodwill and trust that money alone cannot buy. These networks become a shield in times of difficulty and a magnet in times of opportunity. Success is not sustained by selfish ambition, but by the relationships and reputations built through consistent acts of giving. The generous are remembered, valued, and respected, and this honor becomes a foundation for continuous growth. Beyond the material return, generosity also sustains success internally. Holding tightly to wealth creates fear, anxiety, and greed, which can enslave the mind and weaken character. Generosity, however, frees the heart from the burden of possession. It shifts focus from self to service, from greed to gratitude, and from accumulation to impact. A generous spirit cultivates peace and fulfillment, ensuring that success is not only financial, but also emotional and spiritual. Many wealthy people who lack generosity live in isolation and dissatisfaction, proving that money alone cannot sustain happiness. Success without generosity is fragile, but success combined with generosity is deeply satisfying and long-lasting. Generosity also expands influence. People are drawn to those who are willing to share, help, and uplift others. When wealth is used to bless lives, open doors, or fund visions, it leaves an imprint that outlives material possessions. Influence often creates more opportunities than money itself, and generosity is the currency that builds it. Leaders who give selflessly earn loyalty, entrepreneurs who invest in others earn trust, and individuals who live generously earn honor. Influence built on generosity ensures that even when wealth faces challenges, the support of people keeps success alive. Another dimension of generosity is the creation of legacy. Money spent selfishly often dies with the spender, but money invested in others continues to grow in future generations. When education is funded, dreams are supported, and opportunities are created through generosity, the impact multiplies far beyond one lifetime. This is how true legacies are formed, not by how much wealth someone stored, but by how many lives were touched and transformed. Sustained success is not measured in years, but in generations. And generosity is the bridge that carries wealth across time. Generosity sustains success because it aligns wealth with purpose. It ensures that resources serve a higher goal than personal comfort and connects financial achievement with meaning that satisfies the soul. By giving, you position yourself as a channel rather than a container, and channels are always refilled because they keep the flow alive. The more you release, the more space is created for increase, and the more you impact others, the more secure your own success becomes. Generosity guarantees that wealth does not end with you, but continues to live through you, ensuring that success is not temporary, but eternal in its effect. Wealth is a mindset, not just money, because true prosperity begins in the way a person thinks long before it is reflected in what they possess. Money is only a tool, a byproduct of deeper principles. But mindset is the foundation upon which lasting success is built. Without the right mindset, even large amounts of money can disappear quickly, but with the right mindset, even small resources can grow into abundance. The difference between those who build wealth and those who lose it often lies not in the size of their income, but in the strength of their mentality. A wealthy mindset creates discipline, vision, and strategy, while a poverty mindset creates fear, waste, and limitation. A wealth mindset begins with the belief that opportunities exist everywhere. People with this mindset see possibilities in situations that others dismiss as hopeless. They do not wait for conditions to be perfect. Instead, they use what they have and build on it. They understand that wealth is created through ideas, creativity, and innovation, not simply through inheritance or luck. On the other hand, those who lack this mindset often see obstacles instead of possibilities and remain stuck, waiting for something external to change rather than cultivating the inner drive to create change themselves. Another dimension of a wealth mindset is responsibility. People who think wealthy know that money requires management and accountability. They plan, save, invest, and spend with wisdom because they view resources as seeds, not toys. Every decision is made with the future in mind, and this forward-thinking approach naturally multiplies wealth. In contrast, a mindset that treats money only as a means of pleasure often ends in debt and regret because it lacks foresight. Responsibility turns money into a servant that works for you instead of a master that controls you. Wealth as a mindset is also tied to resilience. Money can be lost, markets can collapse, businesses can fail, but someone with the right mindset can rebuild again and again. History is filled with individuals who lost everything yet regained it because their wealth was never just in their bank accounts, but in their ability to think, strategize, and persevere. Resilience comes from an inner conviction that failure is temporary and that every setback holds the seed of a comeback. A person with a wealthy mindset refuses to be defined by loss because they know that their greatest resource is not money, but themselves. Generosity is another trait of a wealth mindset. When people think abundantly, they do not fear that giving will leave them empty. They understand that wealth grows by circulating, not by hoarding. This attitude creates influence, builds relationships, and opens doors that money alone could never unlock. Generosity proves that a wealthy mindset is not about greed, but about impact. The more people you help, the more opportunities return to you, ensuring that success is sustained. Finally, a wealth mindset focuses on growth, not just gain. Those who think wealthy are committed to learning, adapting, and expanding. They seek knowledge, develop skills, and surround themselves with people who challenge them to rise higher. They do not settle for what they have achieved, but continually push for progress. Money may fluctuate, but growth ensures that they always remain relevant, valuable, and capable of creating new streams of income. Wealth is not a static possession, but a dynamic journey, and only a mindset rooted in growth, can sustain it over the long term. Wealth is therefore much more than the figures in an account. It is the way a person thinks, the habits they practice, and the vision they pursue. When the mind is wealthy, money naturally follows. But when the mind is poor, no amount of money can create true abundance.